All right, you can do it. Let's keep going. Let's continuing on three more problems, starting with number 8 on solving linear equations study guide. Solve the equations shown for A. Now, a lot of you guys always ask me, when do I know when to multiply to the inside of the parentheses and not to? Anytime your fraction is outside of the parentheses, that's when you're only multiplying to the fraction to eliminate. Okay. So negative equals 5. So I'm going to go ahead and multiply by -2. The reason I'm using -2 is I want to get rid of that -1/2, and negative times a negative is a positive. So I'll have 4a plus 10 left over equals -2 times a is positive 2a, -2 times 5 is a -10. Okay? Or minus 10. So now I'm going to combine like terms. I'm going to bring my smaller number to my bigger number. I have 2a plus 10 equals -10. Then I'm also going to subtract 10 here. Divided by 2. A is equal to -10. You want to check? Again, -10. 15 equals 15, so it is correct. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and solve the equation. -3 plus 1/4 n equals 1/4 times 20 and -m plus 7 in two different ways. Okay, so going to have method 1 on this side and method 2 here. So for method 1, I'm going to start off by doing my favorite way, of course. I'm going to get rid of my fraction. So remember, use your denominator, and don't forget, when the fraction's on the outside, like it is right here, you're only multiplying it by the fraction. But since the fraction's on the inside, here on the right side of the equal sign, we're multiplying everything. So 4 times -3 is -12. When I multiply it to 1/4, I'm only going to have n left over. And we're only multiplying 4 times a fourth here, so you'll have -n plus 7. Okay, I'm going to move my coefficients over using inverse operations. So I'm going to add n on both sides. And then I'm going to add 12. And I'm going to divide by 2. And I'll have n is equal to, okay, I'm going to go ahead and do this different method over here. All right, so there's multiple ways you can approach this as to a different way. You can keep the fraction, or you can change it into a decimal. So I guess I might show you 3 different ways. So what happens if you do keep the fraction? You'll have -1/4 n plus 7/4. Okay, I'm going ahead and add like terms. 3 on both sides. Okay, so 7/4 plus 3. I'm going to go ahead and put it on the side. 7/4 as a mixed number. How many groups of 4 go into 7? Only one group. So you have about 3 left over, so 1 3/4 plus 3, so 4 3/4. I like to change to a mixed number and then change it back. That way I don't have to rewrite 3 as a fraction. Well, looks like I'm going to have to go right back and do that anyways. Okay, so let's go ahead and change that. 19/4. Oh, I didn't have to. All right, to get rid of a fraction, you multiply by its reciprocal. I'm going to do is cross reduce. Then I'll have 19 halves, which is also equal to 9.5. So that is how you solve this one. Now, if you decide to change it into a decimal, I'm going to tell you right now, that's not always the best method because you're not always going to have easy fractions like 1/4. But I always advise you, get rid of the fraction. All right, number 10. The width of the rectangle is 1/8 of the length. Find the length and the width of the rectangle, then find the area of the rectangle. Okay, so first let's find the length and width of the rectangle. So I'll go ahead and label this as your width and this is your length. Okay, so I always write it as words. The width of the rectangle is means equal, is 1/8 the length. So the width is y minus 8 and the length is 4y plus 12. All right, so let's go ahead and solve. I'm going to go ahead and multiply 8 on both sides to eliminate my fraction. Distribute 8 times y is 64. I'm going to be left here with 4y plus 12. I wrote 8 both times, sorry. All right, I'm going to subtract y both sides, bring the smaller to the bigger. Divide by 4. And I believe y, 76 divided by 4 is 19. So y equals 19. So now that I know that y is equal to 19, I can plug it back in to figure out what my length and width is. So 4 times 19 plus 12 is 88. So that's my length. And my width is going to be y minus 8. So I'm going to do, what is it, 19? Equals 11. Is 968 for my area. I'm correct, right? Y equals 19. 19 minus 8 is 11. Yeah. And obviously, how do you find your area? Length times width. So you do 88 times 11, which is 968. Okay, so the video for these 3 questions will stop here.